dark because I just dropped off Sans. We are night people, so I am usually awake during the nighttime. That's why, like, my mom she's not really weirded out if I'm out this late. I've always been a night person. But either way, but today I wanted to answer one of the comments. One of you guys asked how to start hanging out with a crush, or how I did, basically, like, just like my advice on it. I wasn't even trying to do that. Oh, don't fall. Why are you guys always falling? So freaking annoying. Okay, so oh shit, now you can't really see me. This is the annoying part. It's like once I get to the busy road is when you guys start trying to fall on me here. But basically, sorry, the road is really shitty here. I don't know if you guys can hear the bumps and shit. Oh, you definitely heard that. What just fell? I don't know. But I think it was the tape. Okay. Sorry, I look like shit. I did just wake up and it's like 9:40. So we would talk after work, and this is what you could do. You could start, if you have a crush on someone, start talking to them at work or in school, like, so it's not weird to be around them. You know what I mean? Like, it's not awkward. Just start making, like, you could start off by, what's it called? Small talk. But you guys could just start talking about, like, similar interests, or just whatever you can to get him or her interested in talking about something. Like, looking forward to talking to you. And obviously, don't force it if you guys have nothing in common, or if the person's not interested. This is one of the things that I really just stuck by when I had crushes over the years. You know, like, the person has to be interested in you. Don't waste your time with somebody trying to convince them to want to be around you, even just as a friend. If you can't get to that, you cannot be proving your worth to somebody. It is a waste of time. And another thing is, make sure this person is good for you, okay? It will not do any good for the both of you in the long run, and if this person is no good for you. And I'm sorry, my camera keeps, like, running around because tape isn't enough, apparently. So that is some of the things you have to, like, just keep in your mind throughout this whole time where you're, like, you know, be with them or whatever. Okay, so the next thing is, let's say you guys have a lot in common, you guys are friendly, become closer, a little bit closer, and then try to, like, what I did is, after work, I would just be around, because I wanted to be the last one to leave, or around the last person to leave work, because I didn't want people to know. Sorry, this is not focused. But it's not like you need to see my face. There's a car behind me. Okay, so yeah, make sure, or, like, for example, I always wanted to be the last person to leave because I didn't want people to know what kind of car I drove. I just really didn't want people to, like, make comments. Before, by the way, like, I had a car that was really noticeable, so now I wanted the option of, like, nobody knowing what my car looked like, in case, like, you know, I did something dumb in the parking lot, nobody would know it was me, or just because I really didn't want anybody to know. So I would wait until everybody left in this area where, like, everybody leaves. I would just wait. And I remember seeing him walking around still sometimes, getting stuff, and I'm like, oh. And then when we started to be friends a little more, I was like, oh, it'd be nice if we walked around, because I saw these group of girls always, like, with their little pack, you know, after work, and they'd be, like, shopping again. I'm like, I want that too. And my friend George doesn't really do that. He's not really, like, the type that, like, wants to hang out, and if we do, there has to be a point for it. And then my other friends at the time, they were just friends with me. It was obvious that they were just friends with me because they had no, like, we were just coworkers. You know what I mean? There's friends like that. I'd say, like, 80% of coworker friends you meet will be those type of friends where they're not really interested in, like, hanging out and stuff. So that's what I think. I would linger and wait for everybody to leave. Eventually we would talk, and one time we were walking and you could do this too. Like, we were walking to our cars, and we would talk after work a lot, so it wasn't that weird. But the thing is, like, I was kind of trying to get to my car, and he wouldn't let me. So if you guys could try that too. Do they not want to leave your side, you know? So test it out. I have to wait until this car goes because it's sketchy. I don't want to pull into those. Like, I'm scared to go into a road that's closed and everybody's looking at you like, what are you doing? So we were outside talking, and it was pretty cold at the time, and we were just talking, and when it's cold, you have an actual excuse to leave somebody, right? So it's like, you should go. And I thought this would be Sam's excuse, like, oh, I should go, I'm freaking cold, you know? And it'd be perfectly fine. But he wouldn't go. And before that, he used that as an excuse with somebody else, and he had told me. So I was like, that's weird. That's when I realized, okay, this person really does want to, like, talk to me and hang around me, you know? So you might want to pick up on those. Like, does this person want to hang out around me? You know what I mean? Because you don't want to force something. It'd be awkward for you. It'd be awkward for the other person. So you have to make sure it's, like, comes in, like, both people are doing their part. So this is where I did my part, because I felt kind of rude that I didn't do it right away. But I guess I'm very skeptical about, like, why would somebody want to talk to me, you know? So after a while of talking, maybe like 10 minutes of talking out in the cold, and he didn't have like a big sweater, I did, so it didn't hurt me that much, but even I was cold. So he was like shaking, like shivering, and didn't want to leave. I'm like, hey, you should probably go, because it's really cold, you know, like, and you don't have a big sweater. He's like, no, I'm fine. So I was like, damn, I feel really bad that he's standing out here in the cold because of me. So I'm like, do you want to sit in my car with me, like, while I heat it up or whatever? Like, we can continue talking. Or you could even be specific. Like, let's say they're talking about this problem with work. You could be like, oh, you can continue telling me about their problem about work in my car while I heat it up if you want. And then it's not that weird, because it's like, oh, we might as well, because I have to heat up my car anyway, you know? Or if you're in a hot place, you'd be like, oh, I have to wait for the AC to get cold, you know? Something like that. I guess it's a little bit of a reach, but why not? If it's too extreme outside. Or if it's not, you could always be like, oh, you want to sit in my car? I'm kind of, like, my feet kind of hurt. If they say, oh, your feet hurt? Maybe you should go home. It's fine. We can just talk tomorrow. They're not ready for that. You know what I mean? I feel like that's one-on-one, going in an enclosed place. It's very, like, intimate, and not in a relationship type of way. It's more of like, oh, you want to, like, oh, okay, I'll just go. But you gave them the option. So it's easier to just go with it. And it's not making you look like you want to be with them in that way. So it's not putting you in that spot. It's more of like, oh, I see you as a friend and I want to keep talking. Let's go in my car. You know, it's not that weird. And say it like it's like not the weirdest thing. You know, tone also is important, to be like, you want to go in my car? You know, like that, like, awkwardness. Try to be like, oh, you want to go in my car and, like, finish talking about this? Because, like, I kind of want to sit down. I've been up all day or whatever, you know. And you can be, it'd work if you're more specific. Like, if they've been wanting to tell you a specific story or something, you could be like, oh, can you tell me, like, we can talk about my car so nobody's, like, listening in or whatever, you know. Something like that. Oh, shit. So that's I wasn't even purposely trying to do that. I just, like, I didn't want him to be cold. Oh, shit. You guys moved again. Why do you keep moving? So I don't want him to keep being cold. So I was like, hey, do you want to go in my car? And for me to, like, to not care if he saw my car was like, oh, you know, that's weird. But it's like, you're my friend at this point. If you hear me doing dumb shit, that's fine. And then when you guys do meet up at the car, or, like, let's say you don't have a car, it could be like, oh, do you mind if we walk to the closest store or whatever while you tell me, like, what was going on today? You know what I mean? Like, whatever issue they want to talk about, just be like, let's say it could be the simplest thing, like, oh, you went on a trip to Paris? That's crazy. Like, I want to go to Paris too. It's like, that's weird. Like, what happened? Like, what'd you do there? What do you recommend? And stuff like that, you know? Especially, you could tell too, like, if somebody lights up when you tell them, like, when they say something and they light up, you can just keep them talking about that, because it's like, this is what makes this person happy, you know? I'm getting all these red lights. Of course, it turns when I have found something to do. I'm taping you guys. Oh shit. They're always working on it. So, you guys could walk somewhere, or you guys could keep walking around work, you know, like wherever you work, just be around that area. Bonus points if they're not embarrassed to be like seen around, like by you. Because that's kind of like something I struggle with. But like, I know Sand isn't doing it for like, because I'm embarrassing to him. He's more doing it because he's like scared of what people would say to him and how it would come off to me eventually, you know, like, oh, like they're saying this about us, you know. Oh, it's so nice to be in the freeway and like there's nobody around. But anyways, so that's what you can do. But remember, like the biggest thing is like make it super normal for you guys to talk. You know what I mean? Like at work, hanging out, maybe have like adventures at work. You know what I mean? Like when you have adventures with a specific friend and you guys just, it makes you guys closer. Try to do that stuff. One big thing me and Sand really had adventures with, so I know, for example, big things like when people experience dangers together, dangerous situations, dangerous happenings, like really shitty stuff. Like a small example is, I think I heard like years ago I read about it where it's like if you, let's say you and this stranger go into an elevator and the elevator gets you both stuck, like it gets stuck in there and you guys are locked in for a few hours, you're more likely to fall in love with a stranger than like other people that you see every day, but like you guys don't really talk or whatever, just because of a dangerous situation. So if you can go through stuff together that are kind of like scary, not extreme, like for example, me and Sand would hide from managers because we had one specific manager that was really rude to Sand, and when we were together he was even ruder to Sand because he was just, you know, he did that thing where he isolates Sand from everybody, and you know that's what would happen to me eventually with another manager. So if you guys do that, it's like sneaking around from the manager, or like we snuck away from like toxic people at work together, and it was really exciting. At one point we went to a dead end and we were like, oh no, how do we get out of here? And the manager was around that area and that was really scary. But I remember like he gets really scared sometimes, but this specific time when I looked over at him like I was really scared, he was smiling. And I remember that day, I'm like, oh my god, we're forming a connection because we're both scared about this and we're both avoiding it. And it was like kind of fun, like trying to dodge all these people, you know. So you guys could do that together, or like just something like that. One of the things that, like, this works with friendships too, by the way. Adventures really like gets closer. One of the things is I feel like me and Lou got closer as friends when I lost my work phone at work, like around that area, and it's like a big warehouse. So I lost it somewhere and you can't call it. There is no calling, you know, it's just a work phone. And we asked a manager if she could help us find it. She said no, we'd have to go find it. So the good thing is the manager knew we were looking for this phone, so she wouldn't yell at us for like, you know, not going back to our area, because like I really needed that phone since at the time I still had a shitty phone. I'm sorry, I'm like blurry. So yeah, we started looking for this phone and we would burst out laughing at random times. I think when you can make someone laugh too. Don't try too hard though, because people can sometimes feel it, you know, when you're trying to make them laugh, and they'll give you like a pity laugh. But if you actually make somebody laugh, let it linger. Laugh too, you know, don't be so embarrassed. I see people all the time, like, I remember this random guy was talking to Lou, and he said something funny, and I burst out laughing. I didn't held it, and because of that, I could tell he liked me more as a friend. Like, all of a sudden, he wanted to say hi to me every time he'd come in. You know what I mean? Just that one thing, just laughing at something someone said, and not hide the laughter, like, oh my gosh, you're actually, like, you know, like what you just said was so funny type of thing. Like, showing that makes people closer. Like, it makes the biggest difference. But remember, like, if you guys do try this, like, to get your crush to, like, hang out with you or whatever, make sure there's kind of, like, a purpose to when you go out. When you eventually go out. Like, let's say, oh, let's sit in my car and talk, or let's walk around the area, or like if you work at a store or if you work at a warehouse, try to like give them a task, like, oh, can you help me find this while you tell me about that time, so it becomes less strange for you guys to talk at work. And again, this might be like a slow process. It really depends on your patience and how important it is to you to like develop those feelings before you become into a relationship or even a friendship, if that makes sense. It's a lot of patience, and things that are worth it, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh my gosh, you're taking so long, or oh, this is taking forever. It should, because a lot of the times, you know what's the best thing? This is what I've always thought. The journey of it, like that part of it, getting to that point is so much funner than when you actually reach it. Like the story, you know, like, and the connection you form versus like, where's the finish line, you know, like the actual interest you have on this person is one of the best things, because it's like, oh my gosh, I get to like learn who you are, how you are, what we like to do, you know. It's a new story, it's a new chapter, and like hopefully this person becomes part of your story for a long time or forever, you know. That's why it's like you have to put in all this stuff into it and not try to like quickly rush into it. I feel like when you rush into a relationship or when you rush into a friendship, it's very forced, and it's really awkward in that way where it's like both of you know it's forced. So when it happens like slowly, and you can help it, you know, like by doing this stuff, it feels more genuine. Like it feels more, I don't know, it's like more like fun, and like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell this person this, I can't wait, you know, like by the way, like make sure this person is meeting you halfway. This is the best part to see, like if this person, like everything, let's say you had another relationship, remember all the stuff they did that you didn't like. Like for example, one of my biggest concerns with like Sand is like, can he keep his word? Every guy I've ever been with before Sand could not keep their word. They would not. If they say, oh, we're gonna go out to eat today after you're done working, or we're gonna do this, they would not do it. I always knew, like, don't get your hopes up. Not even to get food is a serious thing. Like, they're probably gonna change their mind. Don't get your hopes up. I hated that. I really hated it, because I'd get dressed up and everything, and it was it was full of disappointment. I didn't want that. I wanted somebody that when they said we were gonna hang out, and that was that. And if we didn't, they had a literal excuse, and it was once and never. So one of the things I did, if you guys want to know what I did, it's not called a test. It's more of like to see how they are. I can tell you in a different video, but for now, this is the one where it's like how to hang out, like, you know, how I started hanging out with my crush. And that's basically how I did it. For me, I wasn't like looking into videos of like, how do you get your crush to talk to you? How do you get your crush to hang out with you? I wasn't. I really was in a place where I was kind of like trying to be on my own, pretty much. It's crazy how when you want to be on your own, it's when things start to happen, you know? I was trying to learn how to be healthier alone and how to let go of all the toxic traits that come within, like, being part of toxic relationships, you know? It's really hard because you learn this, you know, through, like, years and years of this torture, and later you realize, oh, it's not normal to cry after seeing your boyfriend every day. You know what I mean? It's not normal. Stuff like that. So it's like you really have to make sure you're okay and you're ready for something like this, and take your time. Don't rush, because you don't know this person. You need to know if this person will help you do better mentally, emotionally, you know, and all that. So that's where you slowly figure out if they're good for you, if you're good for them. And a friendship is the best way to start, because, like, for example, in one of my other relationships, I knew this person was not good for me, even as a friend. They made jokes, they said stuff that were like really messed up, and it really hurt, and I still went after it, you know. So it's like no surprise. So it's like every time if you're hanging out with your crush and they say things that kind of affect you, take them seriously, okay? Sorry. But yeah, take them seriously. You don't, like, because when you're in a friendship or, like, it's just a person you're seeing from far away. Where's the button? Oh, I know what fell now. They're only gonna get more comfortable treating you this way. So the original start is not the default. It's actually like the Sweden version of people, I feel like. And if that's already off, it's already off, you know? So that's all I have to say about that. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. I didn't write this down or anything. It kind of just, whatever came out was what happened or what I experienced. If you want to know anything else about like crush stuff, let me know. Oh yeah, that was it. I am going back to my room. Oh, I should probably turn off my car. I wish you the best. I wish you a Merry Christmas. No, I'm just kidding. I wish you luck with your crush. I like orange a little. And yeah, let me know if it works. And if not, I'll let you know other stuff if I can. Like what to talk about when you guys do talk. I remember we talked for hours, and another thing is like he still didn't want to leave even after talking for hours, and that was a big sign where it's like, oh my gosh, you really do want to be around me and just talk to me. If this person does not want to hear you out, it's kind of weird and suspicious because they should want to be around you and hear you and talk to you, you know what I mean? Okay, but yeah, I had to go. Bye guys, thanks for watching.